Good evening, New Bedford, a great New Bedford, Southcoast area. This is our first episode of the Southcoast Job Show. So, as you know, we've done a jobs guide every week called the Hot Jobs List. We've done it for like 5 years now. So, we post it up. They're in the link right now. We post it up every Sunday, but we thought we'd have a job show, and I thought of Ian as the first person to do this. We've worked a lot together on jobs.
Yep.
You have your job fair every year. So welcome to the show, Ian, who is going to be Ian Abreu. You probably see him around a lot. He's going to be the host of the show, and we're going to talk about the concept. So welcome, Ian.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be named as the host of the show. And good evening, New Bedford, Greater New Bedford, the South Coast, and those beyond the South Coast who are probably watching this program. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be informative. It's going to be very engaging. We're going to go over the format of the show, what it's normally going to be comprised of here this evening. But just know that if you're unemployed, underemployed, looking for work, or maybe you want to sharpen your workforce skills, this will certainly be the weekly show that you don't want to miss. A little bit about me. I'm born and bred in New Bedford. I live in the South End with my wife and my daughter. I've lived here my entire life, educated in the New Bedford public school system. I'm a graduate of Bridgewater State University, where I received a Bachelor of Arts degree in communications. I currently wear two full-time hats. Most of you know the first job I'll mention, I am a New Bedford City Councilor at large, representing the entire city of New Bedford. I am an elected official. But my job during the day, my 9 to 5, if you will, is where we talked earlier about my workforce credentials, is that I am the Business Development and Public Policy Director at the Southcoast Chamber. So I've worked with Mike and many others in the community and working with companies and developing workforce skills and job opportunities for the greater New Bedford community. And I look forward to taking some of the names of those who I've worked with over the years and bringing them into the studio and having them as guests and passing on some knowledge, whatever little there may be in my head, of what I know about how to get yourself ready for the workforce. And it's going to be a fun show, and I look forward to the opportunity, and I thank everyone for tuning in.
All right, so the concept of the show, it's really, I guess, 4 parts. So the first part is, as you see in the description, we have the Hot Jobs List. Every Sunday we do it. On Friday we do a Fall River, but this is the South Coast show, so we're mostly going to cover that. So every week we're going to cover jobs that people are hiring today. If you go down and apply and you qualify, you could get a job that day, that week, that hour. We're going to bring in guests, so we're going to bring in people that are going to be the experts in the area. We've had Sharon Martins on about a month ago. We'll bring her on later in the month or early in February.
February, yeah.
She runs the Career Center downtown. Great woman, great organization, getting people to work. We're going to do something creative, and if you want to be on the show and you are looking for work and you think you got a strong resume, we're going to try to bring people live, whether you could be at your house or you can be in the studio. We're going to do a resume review.
Yep.
We're looking first, if we can, start with veterans. If we don't have veterans, we go from there. But people who are looking for work, we'll go over your resume, and there's going to be a lot of prospective people that are hiring are going to look at that. And finally, we're going to go to some of the events, like how me and Ian work together is they do their jobs show every year, and there's a bunch around the South Coast. We're not going to just cover that. We're going to cover all.
There are. I mean, not only the South Coast Job Fair that I run with the South Coast Chamber, which is my daytime employer, but UMass Dartmouth has career fairs and college and internship fairs. New Bedford High School has these career fairs, and Voc, Greater New Bedford Voc and Old Colony Vocational has these career fairs. Bridgewater State University has career fairs. Bristol Community College does. So I'm looking to get all these different players to the table to talk about economic and workforce opportunities for the greater South Coast. I think it's very important that we really go over what's out there for everybody.
All right, so we'll talk about this first one. So today, until 7 o'clock, Complete Labor and Staffing is hiring, and it's right downtown. You click the link, you can go. It's right on Union Street, so it's literally right downtown. So they're going to hire, they're a staffing agency, but it looks like they're hiring for a specific job, which is more of like labor kind of job. But it says here, I mean, they're open until 7 o'clock tonight hiring. We're pushing that out there pretty hard. Bring 2 forms of valid ID, fill an application, bring any certifications that you have, CDLs, that kind of such. And then you don't need to bring your resume, but it's helpful.
And we're starting to see this now on the city, state, and federal level as the economy has been turning around the last handful of years, and it's really skyrocketing now. Employers are hiring again, and the boatloads they're hiring again. So what we have is an influx of a need of workforce. And if you're unemployed out there, or you're underemployed out there, underemployed meaning you're looking for work and you're not happy where you are right now, maybe you're making minimum wage or close to minimum wage, there really is no excuse. Plenty of great opportunities out there, and a lot of these folks, and we'll talk about this in our show in the weeks and months ahead, a lot of manufacturers are paying beyond prevailing wage to start. So if you're looking for good paying work, it is available.
Yeah, and Josh has it there. You can leave it there for a little bit, Josh. You can see the information there. So 256 Union Street, there's a phone number you can call. You got right now roughly 2 hours to head down there. And, you know, we see the unemployment in New Bedford is actually, statistically, is very low. People, whether they buy into the numbers or not.
Right.
So, but that means it's hard to find a job sometimes. So this is a place that will get you a job. Let us know how it goes. Go down there. Let us know tomorrow. Post in the comments. As we put these jobs out there, we want to get feedback if they were good jobs or not. And real quick, one of the rules for this show is you guys can post any comments. We'll talk it. The show can go as long as we want, as long as you're throwing out information. I'm going to go to one comment, unless you got something.
Go right ahead. No,
Okay,
absolutely.
So Mary Snow says, I'm unemployed. I work for the New Bedford Public Schools as a para for 27 years due to my illness. I lost my job. They wouldn't extend my leave of absence. I would like to go back to do what I've always done most of my life, looking to go back. I'm not really an expert on that, Mary. I don't know if Ian has.
And as far as my city hats, again, I just want to be clear, this is another hat that I'm wearing for New Bedford Guides, but there really is out of the city council or city hall purview.
Yeah.
I would recommend, common sense would tell me, I would think, if you want to return back to the school system, you would probably just go through human resources on County Street in the main office. That'd be the best route to go.
Check the website. They always
Yeah.
put the jobs on there. And
I know they are hiring, for sure. In fact, New Bedford Public Schools is doing the Southcoast Job Fair again, so they are without a doubt hiring and looking to expand.
Yeah, and I've learned over the years, writing the hot jobs list, what's on the website is not always the most accurate. So if you don't see a job on it, doesn't mean you shouldn't send your resume. If you're looking to go into schools or whatever, don't go based on what's on the website. It's not always accurate.
It changes from day to day.
Yeah, and they
People
might have
get
stuff
fired,
that's not there.
yeah.
And you always want to have your resume on file anyways, because just because they're not hiring today, then 2 weeks later they might call you up. So
Here today, fired tomorrow, or you quit tomorrow. I mean, things change every single day in business, so
Yeah.
you never know.
So you've going over the last couple of years have been pretty good. The job fair, right?
Yeah, it's been a huge success. So, excuse me. The first South Coast Job Fair we had ran at the Seaport Inn, which you were a major sponsor of and promoting it. You were there. We linked in over 120 local, regional, national employers with over 1,000 job seekers. You remember that line all the way outside. We were packed in there. So we kind of outgrew that space. It was a little tight in there. It was a little hot. So we moved it to Greater New Bedford Regional Voc Tech last year in the Walter Janiak Gymnasium. Same amount of employers, we had over 120, and it gave more of a spacious quality, I guess, of life for the vendors to be able to have more room. So we moved it to Voc. We're going to have it again at Voc this year. It'll be on April 19th. That's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is on school vacation week. I know that could be a detriment to maybe some folks who have children who may be going on vacation or may be around, not be around, but the reality is that it was the best deal we could do, because if it's happening during school, you would be able to park in the lot. So at least this way, there's ample parking for the vendors, there's ample parking for the job seekers, and we drew in about 1,000 again last year anyway, so I don't foresee it being a huge problem. And the odds are, if you're looking for work or you're underemployed, you might not be on vacation anyway, because you're looking to stay around here and save a few bucks. So the odds are you'll be around anyway.
Let's go over as you at the hosting these career fairs. Me as someone who's hired a few people over the years. I used to be in the military. We used to do a lot of hiring, but I've also New Bedford Guides about 5 people now. We're actually been hiring this last couple of weeks. tips for people out there, you know, I'll give a few and then you can give a few. So like, obviously number one, in my view, and I see this in the restaurant industry, if you're gonna go try to be a waitress or a hostess or some job at a restaurant, go when they open. You wanna show people that you're there early. You don't wanna go in after lunch or, you know, these kind of things. Whether they say bring a resume or not, bring one. Dress the part that you think you're gonna be wearing as a hostess or whatever. Don't, you know, collared shirt, those kind of things. Even if you dress higher, it's better to dress above than below. You got some tips for some of the things from you've learned over the years?
Well, sure. The resume is key. Also, too, you may want to bring a reference page with at least 3 professional references. Folks, not mom, not dad, not the girlfriend, not the boyfriend. Professional references, or even people that maybe you might know. Maybe you coached with somebody in a youth little league or something. 3 people who can provide character witnesses to an employer about who you are as a person. That's very important. And look, it's the 21st century. I know most folks have tattoos, piercings. That's cool. I mean, that's fine, of course. It's not inappropriate. It's not taboo like it used to be. But if you've got tattoos on the arms or on your neck or piercings on the nose or the tongue or the lip, you may want to take it out for the job fair or for any kind of interview, because you want to obviously portray that sense of professionalism and that you can dress appropriately. And again, as far as dress goes, men, a button-down shirt like this is fine. If you want to put on a tie and a sport coat, that's fine too, depending on what kind of job you're interviewing for and the setting. Ladies, slacks, a skirt that's appropriate length, appropriate shoes for men and women, an appropriate blouse. That's kind of the basic. Hair has, you know, if you're a man and you have facial hair, trim it up like I do. Don't have it all bushy and out of control. Or if you don't have facial hair, at least shave. If you're clean shaven, like Michael over here, he's clean shaven. So it's just kind of common sense stuff. But it's important that we pass this information along because some people might not have been taught these soft skills that maybe you had in the military or that I learned in college. So it's important that people can use this show as a tool to better themselves professionally.
I'll give you another one. So when I was down the Cape in the military, we used to hire other officers that were coming in. And one I sank. I didn't mean to really sink them as a thing, but I asked them, "Oh, tell me about our unit." You know, so it's kind of like imagine being hired for, say, you know, Titleist, the cushioning company, and you walk in and you know nothing about them. You should study the company you're going to interview, right? So
it's true.
Expect someone's going to say, "Well, tell me about Titleist." And if you go, "I think you guys make baseball bats," or know that they make golf equipment, know that they're the number one, those kind of things. Know the company you're going into an interview about.
You're absolutely correct, and you're dead on. We're actually interviewing for a position at the chamber right now, and that's one of the questions that we ask the applicants. Tell us, and not just a specific question to try to paint them in a corner, but very lightly. Well, what do you know about us? What have you heard about us? See what they say.
Yeah.
A couple of people who have interviewed for this position we're looking for knew a lot about us. They went to the website. They did their homework. A couple, unfortunately, really didn't have any idea what we did. And that goes to show you that maybe they didn't do the homework appropriately and they were just kind of blanketing applying for jobs.
Yeah.
And you really want applicants who, if you're an employer, you want applicants who really know who you are and they've bought into your mission, whether you're a for or a nonprofit, and that they're going to want to work for you and be a team player. And don't forget, too, we're here for the job seekers, but we're here for the employers as well for this show. We're here, hopefully we can be a tool for companies in the region. There'll be sponsorship opportunities for companies to want to come here and feature themselves and feature their jobs. And I know Mike and Leo on the staff here, and all of us will be rolling out some sponsorship and opportunities for them as well.
Yeah, and I'll put that real quick. You can email really anything at New Bedford Guide, Leo at New Bedford Guide, info at New Bedford Guide. If you're hiring and you want to be on this show, or you just want us to promote your job, email it. There is a fee associated to get sponsorship for the show. But just contact us. You can message us through Facebook, Twitter, anything, and we can help you out. So another tip, and if Josh, you can pull up the hot jobs. So we do the hot jobs. We post it out every Sunday. And I think how many we have this week? We have 48 on there this week. These are jobs that we go out there ourselves. Either we get sent to us from the city or their jobs on Indeed or whatever. We just kind of make a list together. And what I do when I was younger and applying for jobs is, and a tip I've learned, read the job description once without anything, and the second time, have a piece of paper and make yourself a checklist, because they're looking for key indicators on there. And one might say, send resume. When I post up a job we were hiring for 2 weeks ago, my requirement was send your resume. And I got emails like, hey, I'm interested about that job. Can you send me more? And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So the key is go through the job description the first time, read it like you open a newspaper, and the second time, get a pen and paper out there and write down as you're reading exactly what they're looking for. Qualifications important. If they say you should be able to type 200 words a minute or something like that, don't fake it. Say you don't be willing to learn or something like that. But that's one of the tips I would say. And the hot jobs, it's on the link below. It's something that's one of our most popular articles every week. The area is starving for jobs, and we put the better ones out there, and we've had some good response.
And there are a lot of jobs out there. I mean, everything from entry level to and then even the job fair. We try to be as eclectic as possible. Everything from entry level to PhD level work. So we have a very diverse, very well-crafted workforce here in Greater New Bedford and in New Bedford and on the South Coast. So if you're an employer looking for specific skill sets, looking to fill specific jobs, it might behoove you to make an investment in this program, make an investment in the South Coast, because I'm willing to bet that we're going to help you fill those jobs. In fact, I know, Mike, you and I have worked together for a while now. You always tell me that story with a local employer that was posting the jobs in a local newspaper. They couldn't fill it. They went through you. And how many applicants did they get right off the bat? And it was a great value for the company.
Yeah, that was so like Joseph Bood we've had, but they needed stitchers. And they tried with the local newspaper, it didn't work as well. And we did this, we posted up, and one day they said they stopped counting at 25 that day. So we did really good. We basically got fired for being successful. We had to get all the people they needed that one day. Kelly Martin has a good point. She says, as the saying goes, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So again, that's really important to dress for success. Your employer, the first impression is the long lasting, and sometimes is the only thing that can get you, not a second interview. If you're not dressed right, if they're hiring for the right job, and you come in with, your sweatpants and a t-shirt with pillow head, you're not going to get the job. Let's go over some. We don't have on New Bedford Guide yet, but we will post up the events. We're going to try to get these the guests that we're going to have on in advance. So next week we got Mr. Oliveira, I believe.
Yes, my former council colleague, my friend Jim Oliveira, who is the executive director of the Greater New Bedford Workforce Investment Board. We're going to have him on. We're going to talk about the state of workforce in the Greater South Coast and in Greater New Bedford, and what they're doing, what they're up to, and how they're working in concert with organizations like the EDC, like the Chamber, like the schools. So it's going to be a great show. And then the following week, we're looking to have Ashley Bendixson on. We all know Ashley, local entrepreneur, resume writing, professional guru, motivational speaker, all of the above. PR genius. So we're looking to get her on to talk about, she'll delve a little bit deeper into what we're talking about when you talk about professionalism and how to dress and how to craft that resume. But we look to have a very robust agenda every week. When viewers tune in, they know they're going to get a value. And of course, if they want more information, they'll be able to follow up with those guests after the show, and the guests will provide their contact information. But we're here to help people. That's basically the goal of this show. We want the residents of this city and the South Coast region to feel that there are economic opportunities for them, and we want to connect all the players together. We want to connect those dots.
Yeah, so this week, it's a short show. We just want to introduce the concept of the show. Email us. We put the emails in the comments if you're going to sponsor the show. But if you just want to have a question before we actually go live, if you want to point out jobs that are out there that you think that it's not being promoted very well, we can help out with that. But we'll go over the concept again. So this show, we're going to go over the jobs list we produce every Sunday. So you better see the jobs on Sunday, and we're going to go over some of the key ones on Tuesday. It's going to be every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Holidays permitting. We had the holidays, so we canceled some shows during Christmas and New Year's, but generally every week. bring in some important guests. Mr. Oliveira is a wealth of knowledge. He knows the area very well. Sharon Martins, Ashley, she writes resumes like no one's business, and she's probably a master interviewer. So these are tips we're going to bring out there.
We're looking to get Derek Santos on from the Economic Development Council. I'm looking to get the superintendents on of all the local schools. So we seem to sometimes forget about the schools when we talk about workforce and creating that pipeline to link in students to the workforce, because nowadays it's not just college ready, it's college and or career ready. So some students might not be prepared or might not want to go to college. That's totally cool. How do we get them ready for work? So I know the high school has these great National Academy Foundations set up right now with engineering and information technology. We'll talk about those things with Bernadette Coelho. We'll talk to Jimmy O'Brien at Greater New Bedford Voc about their career clusters. We'll talk to Aaron Polanski at Old Colony Regional about what they're doing. So this will be a very regional show and about how, if you're an employer, how maybe you can work with these schools to maybe provide internships or cooperative education opportunities. So we really want to try to hit all the metrics with this kind of a show. The education, the workforce, the employer, I think that covers it. Obviously, we want to make sure that that everyone has a seat at this table.
Yeah, and the viewership out there needs to help us out. One, if you know someone that's looking for work and they've struggled, has a good resume or not, they could be a terrible resume and needs help with it, tag them, share this on their wall, let them know this show's here, and if they contact us, we can bring them in live on the show, we can bring them in the studio, we can bring them remotely in and such. That's an important thing, is this show will continue to go and be strong as long as the viewership is participants in this. If you need a resume looked at, you can send it to us, and we can probably send it over to Ashley to look at. She does do a service, for as business goes. She's really good at that. But be part of the show, comment, share, tag your friends, and let's get people to work, because that's really the objective of the show.
And we're also interested, too, if you're an employer and you may want to sponsor the show, or you might want to help feature on this program what kind of jobs you have available, we'll go on location. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
We will have a live show from your facility. We'll go on location. We'll be on location for the job fair, for example. We'll do a show from there. So, we want to have some fun with this. And us reading from a piece of paper, company X is hiring X, Y, and Z. But if we're actually at the facility, showing the assembly line, showing how these things are made, it might help sell to the job seeker. So that's a possibility as well.
All right, so tune in every Tuesday at 5 o'clock with Ian. After tonight, make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock. We have the LGBTQ show. We have 7 o'clock. We're going to go over some fun elder versus youth of the LGBT, going over what's the differences. And we're going to ask them each different questions, and it's going to be fun to see the differences. But that's it, Ian.
Thanks, Mike. I look forward to working with you.
Yeah, we're going to see you on Tuesday of next week. Thank you.